as also Mr. Michael Stewart, Deputy Shadow Minister for Education, representing the Leader of the Opposition. And now we just witnessed the arrival of the Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Ladies and gentlemen, remain standing for the arrival of His Excellency, the Governor General, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen. Please be seated. Once again, we welcome you to the lawns of Jamaica House, the ceremony for the presentation of the Prime Minister's Medal of Appreciation for Service to Education. The opening remarks will now be presented by Mr. Dean Roy Bernard, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. Welcome him, please.
His Excellency, Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, Governor General, Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Senator the Honorable Ruel Reid, Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Mr. Michael Stewart, Member of Parliament, representing the Leader of the Opposition, Chief Justice Brian Sykes, members, Minister of State, Alando Terlong, members of the Senate and the House of Representatives, Mrs. Georgia War Richards, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, special awardees, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. First, let me extend a warm welcome to everyone who is here this evening as we honor 40 outstanding Jamaicans who have served in the field of education. I feel very privileged and honored to stand here among you all and to acknowledge your achievements over several decades. Most Honorable Prime Minister, we know that as the former Minister of Education, you undoubtedly have an insight into the dynamics of this profession and the importance of honoring our hard-working team with the wide education sector. I unreservedly applaud the significant contributions, often at great sacrifice, that our awardees have made, resulting in the education sector being the kind of sector that continues to improve the lives of Jamaicans today. This gathering celebrating achievements is also an articulation of our continued efforts at improving educational outcomes in Jamaica. Our gratitude goes to the families of these awardees for the concerted efforts and support toward these our leaders who have served with such benevolence and caring hearts. I would also like to acknowledge the hard work of the advisory committee that was given the difficult but awesome task of selecting this year's awardees. 15 years and more of outstanding commitment to education must be applauded. May I have a round of applause for awardees, please? Thank you. These awardees have been chosen because of their quality service to education, their community involvement, including participation in civic and club activities and in other areas. Indeed, the foundations have been laid and the structures have been built to help us to improve our education offerings, offerings that will lead Jamaica further towards realizing its Vision 2030 goals. To our awardees, we thank you for all your efforts towards transforming our children, fulfilling our mandate that every child can learn, every child must learn. We pledge to you that we are committed to attaining higher standards and high academic achievement for our students. And it all begins with quality teachers. It begins with you, and it continues with you. Awardees, well done. The Ministry of Education, Youth and Information celebrates you today, and we join by saying thank you for your contribution to the future well-being of our society, our nation, our world at large. Thank you very much for inspiring our children. May God bless you all. As you bask in this celebration, have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
And I thank you too, Mr. Dean Roy Bernard, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. We'll now hear from the Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Senator, the Honorable Ruel Reid. He'll now bring his remarks. Welcome him, please.
Thank you very much, Master of Ceremonies. His Excellency, our Governor General, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, Mr. Michael Stewart, MP, representing the Leader of the Opposition, other ministers who are here, and Ministers of State, Mr. Dean Roy Bernard, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, and other Permanent Secretaries, Ambassador the Honorable Douglas Saunders, Cabinet Secretary, Excellencies and members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mrs. Georgia War Richards, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, our very delightful special awardees, other distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor and privilege to be here with you this evening on this very special occasion. This is a great day for honorees, and I'm very happy to be sharing it with you. Put your hands together for our awardees, please. This evening's awards ceremony is a wonderful opportunity to recognize excellence and to celebrate the accomplishments of 40 educators who have spent decades in the classroom and in education administration. The awards acknowledge your contribution to national development through education, and I join in extending heartiest congratulations to all our awardees this evening. As teachers, whether in the classroom or on a daily basis or working in administration, you've helped to shape the character of students through the values imparted and in helping them to awaken dormant dreams and aspirations. Over the years, the great joy we get as educators in seeing when they make good use of the opportunities that education presents is indescribable. Ladies and gentlemen, your work and sacrifices have enabled many students who might have otherwise given up on themselves to catch a vision of what they could achieve and to apply themselves to accomplishing those goals. The tremendous effort which our teachers put into training of the country's future manpower is invaluable and is being recognized as such this evening. As a teacher myself, and in more recent times as minister, I am fully aware of the high level of sacrifice, selflessness, dedication, and great sense of responsibility that teachers bring to bear on their duties on a daily basis. And I'm sure President War Richards would say ditto, ditto. Yes, Minister. I therefore take this opportunity to salute all our honorees for giving up your best as classroom teachers, administrators, counselors, and the trainers. And I want to signal special recognition to Dr. Nadine Leachman and Mrs. Winnie Berry, distinguished educators from our central ministry, as well as former Director of the Education System Transformation Program, Ms. Jean Hastings, because they have been largely responsible for a lot of the transformational work in education over these past years. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica cannot honor you enough, but we are grateful that through this special ceremony, you are getting more public recognition for your dedication and the service above self. And I want to equally commend our Prime Minister for continuing these awards. Put your hands together for our most honorable Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, once a teacher, always a teacher, yes? It is said. I encourage you, therefore, to continue to impart important values to the many young people with whom you continue to interact. The award you receive then is not just a recognition of your achievements, but more importantly, it is a symbol of appreciation of your mission of molding the future of this great nation. So let me therefore conclude that on behalf of the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, again, we congratulate and salute all our awardees this evening. Congratulations, and may God continue to bless you.
Thank you very much, Senator the Honorable Ruel Reid, Minister of Education, Youth and Information. Your program has it as Donario. His name is Danario. Danario Farron is a teacher at the Knox Junior School in Spalding, Manchester, and a part-time student at the Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts. He's a musician, a voice trainer, a choir master, and winner of the 2018 Gospel Solo category in the JCDC's Performing Arts Competition. Help me now welcome Mr. Danario Farron performing If You're Out There, a piece by John Lennon. Welcome him, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If you hear this message, wherever you stand, I'm calling every woman, I'm calling every man. We're the generation, we cannot afford to wait. The future started yesterday, and we're already late. I've been searching for a song to sing, searching for a melody. Oh, yeah. If you're looking for the world to change, If you feel the same, then go on and say, if you're out there, sing along with me. If you're out there, I'm trying to believe that you're out there. Stand up and say it loud if you're out there. Tomorrow starting now. Now, now, now. No more broken promises. No more call to war. Unless it's love and peace that we're really fighting for. We can destroy hunger. We can conquer war. Just raise your arms and lift your voice. We're joining hands today. I've been looking for a song to sing. I was searching for a leader, but the leader was me. We've been hoping for the world to change. We all can be leaders. Just go on and say if you're out there. Sing along with me if you're out there. I'm dying to believe that we're out there. Stand up and say it loud if you're out there. Tomorrow starting now. Can I sing this part right here? When I look at where we're coming from, I know we're blessed, so I close my eyes. Sometimes I feel like the richest man in Jamaica, and I've done my best. Oh, so everything's alright, yeah. So every morning, yeah, I rise, I stare at the sun. I know it is a blessing. Everybody, yeah, I can, yeah. Lift up my eyes to the hills, oh yes, I'm blessed. With my two hands in the air, oh yes, I can. Right now, now, now. Can I sing it one more time? If you're out there, sing along with me. If you're out there, I'm trying to believe that you're out there. Stand up and say it loud if you're out there. Tomorrow starting now. Thank you.
Young and talented. Please give another round of applause to Dana Rayo Farron, musician, choir master, and the JCDC 2018 Gospel Solo Segment. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, a member of the Order of the Nation, Member of Parliament, will now address us. Welcome him very heartily, please, to the Prime Minister's Medal of Appreciation for Service to Education.
His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, Governor General of Jamaica, Mr. Michael Stewart, representing the Leader of the Opposition, Senator the Honorable Will Reid, Minister of Education, Youth and Information, other members of the Cabinet, Ministers of State, the Honorable Mr. Justice Sykes, Chief Justice of Jamaica, the Reverend Merlin Hyde Riley, President of the Jamaica Council of Churches, Excellencies and members of the diplomatic corps and international organizations, members of the Senate and House of Representatives, Mr. Dean Roy Bernard, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, and other permanent secretaries who are here, mayors, custodies, heads of agencies and departments, Mrs. Georgia War Richards, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, the recipients and our distinguished educators, families and friends, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is always a pleasure to recognize outstanding Jamaicans. Today is even more special by the fact that we are honoring outstanding Jamaican educators, a profession I hold very dear. In fact, some of the honorees today, I remember them very well from my tenure as Minister of Education. Collectively, our honorees have given more than 200 years of invaluable service to our country and are therefore most worthy of recognition. Yes, they are worthy of your applause. First, I would like to congratulate the 40 educators who are being recognized this evening and to express my deep and sincere gratitude to you all for your contribution to nation building. Our students' lives, and indeed my own, have been enriched by your dedication and commitment. Some of you have already retired. Others are about to do so. And others are still in the education system. My prayer and hope is that your collective wisdom and experience will continue to be available to the education system as we work together to advance the welfare of our country. Your passion and ability to stir the intellectual curiosity of our students have seen them performing at the highest levels of excellence in national exams and in educational institutions across the globe. No matter what subject you teach, you are key to nurturing that can-do spirit that challenges and encourages our students to take risks so that they can carve out their own pathway in the journey of lifelong learning. I am therefore extremely pleased to welcome you to Jamaica House this evening as we honor and celebrate your service to our nation. Education has a special place in my heart, and I am very happy to share with you on this special occasion. I know that no amount of medals or awards can adequately express the depth of gratitude we have for your sacrifice and dedication over the years, but we do want to say a public thank you for your extraordinary commitment to shaping the lives and sharpening the minds of our children over these many decades. This evening, however, we take this opportunity to acknowledge the 40 educators selected from over 70 nominations by virtue of gaining the highest points from the nominations committee, as we show our appreciation for the difference that they have made and continue to make in the lives of our children and, by extension, our nation. Today's awardees come from different parts of the island. They have served from the early childhood to the post-secondary level, from engaging in classroom instructions to managing schools. Amid their uniqueness, there is one thing that is common to all of them, and that is an extraordinary devotion to duty and to nurturing the mind of the next generation. Ladies and gentlemen, You have been an important part of the national effort to transform our education focus and system to make it more adaptable to 21st century requirements. We have come a far way, and we have made good progress. We have seen notable improvements in national exams at the primary level and in school administration. We have engaged in much dialogue to reach a common understanding of what needs to be done. We must build on the achievements and continue to work to nurture our students so that they can be innovative, creative, confident persons, ready to take on the challenges of their generation. You, our teachers, have worked across generations. You have been at the forefront of social change in the society, not only in terms of personal behavior, but also in lobbying for access to quality education and amendments to instructional delivery, in methods and materials used. Chalk and talk and blackboard are now ceding ground to whiteboards and markers. Oh no, smart boards and iPads and styluses. Yet, even as we become more modern or technologically advanced, we do not lose sight of the fact that for teachers, little has changed in your primary responsibility. You have continued to mold the characters of present and future generations. This you do by providing our children with a well-rounded education, developing in them a thirst for the academics, curiosity for learning, a consciousness of their own responsibility to their families, to their communities, and to their country. We must all continue to encourage our children to be imaginative and inventive. This flexible thinking outside of existing norms will inspire us to do things in a different way, a much better way. It is with this in mind that this administration has placed renewed emphasis and increased financial support for the early childhood sector to lay a firm foundation on which the minds of our children can be fed and nurtured for the different stages of their education. In this regard, I encourage us all to work together for the success of the Primary Exit Profile, PEP, which is aimed at preparing our students for the 21st century, moving away from rote learning to developing their critical thinking skills and abilities. Related to this is the recognition that we must deepen our support for STEM education without diluting the importance of the liberal arts and the humanities. As educators, you have long been adept at making the connection between and among various subjects. This we must do to a greater degree to address today's realities. The National Standards Curriculum is moving the education system in the right direction, and we urge your support. Through this curriculum, we must be intentional in encouraging our students to make the connections. I am personally inspired and encouraged by all of our honorees here today. As educators, let us be role models in demonstrating this love for lifelong learning for our students. Let us remain open and curious and continue to explore the world of knowledge and skills with our students. Let us not only cover the curriculum, but to uncover the world together with our students. This evening, we are gathered as a community with a sense of admiration to demonstrate our honorees that they have done exceedingly well. Your examples of hard work and commitment to lifelong learning will continue to be an inspiration for years to come. Together, let us continue to create a better Jamaica. Together, let us continue to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, do business, and retire in paradise. Congratulations, and once again, may God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister. Most Honorable Andrew Holness. Now, Mr. Jeffrey Brown is a music teacher of a community group called Blazing Genesis, which copped Class 4 instrumental in the JCDC's Performing Arts Competition. He has won numerous gold medals at the JCDC Performing Arts Competition. A saxophonist, please help me welcome Mr. Jeffrey Brown to present a medley of songs. I'm sure we enjoyed the medley of songs there performed by Mr. Jeffrey Brown. Give him another round of applause, please. And now we're going to be moving to the presentation of awards. I would like to invite the Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, to present the Medals of Appreciation for Service to Education. On the occasion of the observance of Education Week, the Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, ONMP, is pleased to award the Prime Minister's Medal of Appreciation to the following persons in recognition of their outstanding service to education, took effect from the 24th of June, 2018. Our first recipient, Dr. Garth Orlando Anderson, Church Teachers College, Manchester. Next recipient, Miss Sonia Marcia Bailey, Buff Bay High School, Portland. Dr. Pauline Banton from Ensom City Primary School in the parish of St. Catherine. Mrs. Reno Bartlett Spencer, Monique College, St. Anne. Mrs. Winnie Ann Marie Berry, Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Kingston. Mrs. Claudine Yvette Bowen, Calabar Infant Primary and Junior High School, Kingston. Pastor Wesley Kerwin Boynes, Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation, St. Anne. A. Brown Boudou from the Maypen Primary School in Clarendon. Continue the applause, please, for the next recipient, Mrs. Sylvia Brown Williams, Cambridge High School, St. James. Congratulations. From the Norman Manley High School in Kingston, Mr. Harry Sylvester Clark. Mrs. Ivy Jane Forbes, Mitchelltown Primary School, Clarendon. Mr. Jasford Gabriel, Manchester High School, Manchester. I hear the Manchesterians. Mrs. Yolande Eileen Geddes Hall, St. Catherine's Preparatory School, St. Catherine. Mr. Paul Barrington Hall, Tarrant High School, Kingston. Our next recipient, Dr. Sandra Hamilton, Heart Trust NTA, Vocational Training and Development Institute, Manchester. Ms. Jean Marie Hastings, Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Kingston. Mrs. Yvonne King, Porus High School, Manchester. And now an award to be presented to Reverend Owen Lloyd Lambert, Campbell's Castle Primary and Infant School, again from the parish of Manchester. Dr. Nadine Grace Leachman, Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Kingston. Mrs. Verna Christina Lindo, Eltham Infant School, St. Catherine. Our next recipient is Miss Hortense Adelaide Morgan from the Chatola Park Primary School in Kingston, and the medal will be received by Mr. Everton Taylor. Mr. Paul Alfonso Napier, Tivoli Gardens High School, Kingston. Back to the parish of Manchester, please welcome from Cross Keys High School, Mr. Ralph Nathaniel Nelson. Another special recipient is Miss Althea Lucinda Palmer, St. Aloysius Primary School, Kingston. Mr. Lenford George Pinnock, Ramble Primary School, Manchester. Dr. Donna Powell Wilson, Council of Community Colleges of Jamaica, Kingston. Mrs. Joyce Reddy Brown, Duncan's All-Age School, Trelawney. Mrs. Joyce Reddy Brown, Duncan's All-Age School, Trelawney. Miss K. Olivine Reed Waite, Catherine Hall Primary and Infant School, Parish of St. James. Mrs. K. Olivine Reed Waite. Up next to receive Mrs. Muriel Francis Scott from the Monique College in the Parish of St. Anne. Ms. Jeanette Shimhue, Hart NTA, Southwest Region, Clarendon. Mrs. Elaine Helena Simpson, St. Mary's All-Age School, St. Elizabeth. Congratulations, Mrs. Paula Carla Pamela Taylor, Bridgeport High School, St. Catherine. Mrs. Hilda Maud Thomas, Mitchell's Hill Primary School, Clarendon. Reverend Dr. Raphael Joseph Thomas, Gospel Chapel Preparatory and Basic School, St. Mary. Up next, Miss Diana Patricia Thompson, Paul Bogle High School, Parish of St. Thomas. Our next recipient is Mr. Ansel Lloyd White, Linstead Primary and Junior High School, St. Catherine. Mrs. Barbara Andrea Williams, Port Antonio High School, Portland. Mrs. Helen Maud Williams, Watsonton Primary School, Clarendon. Mr. Joseph Edwin Williams, St. James High School, St. James. Got a lot of support there. And our final recipient, numbering 40, Miss Geneva Emily Woolery, Chatsworth All-Age School, St. James. Come forward, please, Miss Woolery. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Mr. Prime Minister. And can we have a collective round of applause for our 40 recipients? Well deserved, well earned, and heartiest congratulations to them all. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. Now, Mr. Rasheem Dreads Shepherd is a past student of the Excelsior Community College and another gold medalist of the recently concluded Performing Arts Speech 2018. He's a teacher at Ardennes and Mavisville Prep School. He's also the founder of the Dreads production. Please welcome Mr. Rasheem Dreads Shepherd performing Champion.
Greetings, everyone. How are we doing today? Everyone is fine? Awesome. Can I hear some noise, please? Everybody's excited?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's do this.
Champion, me are the champion. Champion, me are the champion. Champion, we are the champion. Champion, we are the. So me a one of them, the youth, then I they get to my band. I go to school with no shoes on, so I try my best to learn what the teacher did a teach. Cause somewhere in a life, me woulda want reach. Me a one of them, the youth there.
Champion.
We a champion. Standing tall like a roaring lion. We a champion. Standing tall like a roaring lion. So me a one of them, the youth, them in the clown on no lane. Me no smoke marijuana, me no sniff cocaine. Me come and spread that dough to my virgin weed. And me no want nothing come mash up this a brain. Cause me love my mother and she couldn't take the shame. Me a one of them, the youth there. We a champion. Standing tall like a roaring lion. We a champion. Standing tall like a roaring lion.
You want good?
Yeah.
Nose of a run.
Sure.
Solid as a rock. Sweat just a come. Rough cut hurdlings, never done.
No.
Working hard even in the sun. Never say never.
Only fools say can't.
Conquering what is
To be conquered.
Born for this. We not gonna miss that. Before this honor we them can't dismiss.
We a champion. Standing tall like a roaring lion. We a champion. Standing tall like a roaring lion.
Hey, confident we are champion.
Yeah.
The future of the nation
In our hand.
Positively non-Josie we stand.
Yeah.
Heights by great men
Reach and kept, we're not attained by sudden flight, but
they while their company and slept.
we're toiling upward through the night. We a champion, standing tall like a roaring lion. We a champion, standing tall like a roaring lion.
Inside everyone lies a champion. With
Yeah.
him looking in the mirror, looking past the physical being, seeing the spiritual soul. A champion inside you ignites your soul. It only take a spark to get the champ going.
It only take a spark.
to get the champ going.
Only take a spark. We a champion, standing tall like a roaring lion. We a champion,
Standing tall like a roaring lion. We are
champion. We are the champion boys. Champion, we are the champion. Champion, we are the champion boys. Champion, we are the
roaring lion.
champion.
Champion indeed. No wonder he won the 2018 in the DC competition. Give it up again for Rasheem Dreads Shepherd and the founder of the Dreads production. Excellent performances. Now, our male teachers have done us proud tonight with powerful performances. May I at this time invite Mrs. Georgia War Richards, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, to bring the closing remarks. Welcome her, please.
His Excellency, the Most Honorable Sir Patrick Allen, Governor General, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, Mr. Michael Stewart, representing the Leader of the Opposition, Senator the Honorable Ruel Reid, Minister of Education, Youth and Information, other members of the Cabinet, the Most Honorable Sir Kenneth Hall, the Honorable Mr. Justice Brian Sykes, Chief Justice, Ministers of State, the Reverend Merlin Hyde, President of the Jamaica Council of Churches, Ambassador the Honorable Douglas Saunders, Cabinet Secretary, Excellencies and members of the Diplomatic Corps and international organizations, members of the Senate and the House of Representatives, Mr. Deanroy Bernard, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, and other permanent secretaries here present, mayors, custodies, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, heads of agencies and departments, the recipients, our distinguished educators, families and friends, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, this evening we have all gathered to bear witness to a most auspicious occurrence. Our colleagues who have served and some who are still serving the Jamaican education system have been honored. As educators of this great nation, we are no strangers to challenges, but with resilience and tenacity of purpose, we continue to impact lives positively and thereby striving to place the Jamaican education system among the best education systems of the world. Go right ahead. This function aims at recognizing that fact and seeks to highlight the best of the best. The educators who are being honored this evening represent practitioners from all levels of the education system who pride themselves in excellent delivery and commendable student outcomes. These educators leave no stones unturned in empowering and bringing out the best in all students with whom they come in contact. Indeed, the colleagues understand fully what it means to create a Jamaica to be the place to live, work, do business, raise families, and retire. Colleagues, this evening's function is testament to the fact that your work and worth have not gone unnoticed. To the most honorable Prime Minister, we say thanks. Thank you, sir, for placing on record the service of excellence that the educators of this country continue to provide. Colleagues, the Jamaica Teachers Association is very proud of all that you represent. On behalf of the association and the entire country, I salute you. To the planners and coordinators of this evening's function, thank you. Jamaica looked great because of your expertise. Special commendations to Senator the Honorable Ruel Reid, Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Mr. Deanroy Bernard, Permanent Secretary, the respective officers in the Office of the Prime Minister, the performers, and all those who have worked hard to put on display the best of Jamaica. Once again, to all the recipients of this prestigious award, I challenge you to continue to be the role models and the beacons of hope in this nation. Colleagues, please remember, a teacher holds a hand, opens a mind, and touches a heart. Thank you. May God bless this Jamaica, land we love.
And I thank you too, Mrs. War Richards. And now, Your Excellency, Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the ceremony for the presentation of the Prime Minister's Medal of Appreciation for Service to Education 2018. We now invite His Excellency, the Governor General, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Education, and the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, and all the recipients to move to the front of the stage for that official photograph. Please come forward. Your Excellency, Prime Minister, Minister of Education, and the Permanent Secretary. You will be in front. They will guide you. Yes.
need you. My heart's on fire. You come to me wild and wired. You come to me, give me everything I need. Give me a lifetime of promises and a world of dreams. Speak a language of love like you know what it means. It can't be wrong. Take my heart and make it stronger, babe. You're simply the best. You're better than all the rest. Better than anyone I've ever met. I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart. Baby, I would rather be dead. In your heart, I see the start of every night and every day. In your eyes, I get lost, I get washed away. Just as long as I'm here in your arms, I could be in no better place. You're simply the best. You're better than all the rest. Better than anyone I've ever met. I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart. Baby, I would rather be dead. Each time you leave me, I start losing control. You're walking away with my heart and my soul. I can feel you even when I'm alone. Oh, baby, don't let go. I've ever met. I'm stuck on your heart. I hang on every word you say. Tear us apart. Baby, I would rather be dead. You're the best.
And so we say heartiest congratulations to all 40 recipients. Thank you, Your Excellency, for being in our presence this evening. We're inviting all the recipients and their guests to join us for the reception. Can we have a nice round of applause, please, for the Jamaica Constabulary Force Band? Gave some wonderful performances this evening. Heartiest congratulations once again. This has been the ceremony for the presentation of the Prime Minister's Medal of Appreciation for service to education here at Jamaica House. Please join us for the reception, recipients and guests. Travel safely as you make your way to your various destinations. You're going back all across the island. Wish you safe travel. My name is Norma Brown Bell, and I say good night to you. Thank you.
Can touch the lion. He's so humble. Never touch the lion. I'm walking through this valley of tests, and I've never been away, caught in the wilderness. The power of Jah preserve I, guides in all I do. So trod it through the heights and the depths. We trample frustration and we conquer stress. The power of Jah preserve I, guides in all I do. So all evil that mean me harm can go back where they came from. Oh, I tell the Obia and the science man come, 'cause them can't squeeze my lion bar. Oh, demonic works perform shall prosper. And touch the lion, he's so humble. Never touch the lion.